Hey everybody, I'm on. How is everybody this morning? Hey everybody, I'm on. How is everybody this morning? Hi QP, hi River Swept. Hey you guys, I'm trying to be quiet, so. All right, let me see here. Trying to get all set up. So did Patrick broadcast at all, or did he sleep the whole time? That's kind of funny though. I feel sorry for him because I have been like sleeping like a mad woman. Okay, just be right 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Just had to close the door and get my glass of water. Okay. So he was up to greet you guys and then he went to sleep. That's funny. I might have to try that sometime too. I didn't think I was going to be able to get up today, but all right, let me see here. I am going to try to show you something that I've been looking at lately. Tell me, let's see, I'll wait until the map of, oops, I don't want to do that. Yep, the map of Minnesota. I can't look at the chat while I'm doing this, though. Kind of irritating. So, I hope Minnesota's on the screen. But do you see this part right here, like in the very upper northeast corner? That looks way too jetty out. I don't remember that looking like that at all. Do you guys? And then some people say that they don't remember this little part sticking up, which this is kind of a weird map that shows it because it doesn't show the red part where this lake is. I don't even know what the name of that lake is. But it, because if it would have showed like this, then, but they don't, a lot of people don't remember that little part, but I do. Okay, I'm going to get off there. And look at the chat. If nobody is in the house, it's a lot easier to do all this, but I don't have to be so quiet. Yeah, River Swept, that little part is still part of Minnesota. But what did you guys think of that jetty part out there? It just doesn't look right at all to me. Okay, so QP River Swept. Adam left fence. Brandon, hello. JW, hello. Master Richie, hello. Andrew, A Gamer. Okay, let me see. I wrote down a couple things that I wanted to talk about. Since Patrick was, well, I just got through saying that, oh, you guys, I can hardly wake up sometimes. I don't know if anybody's felt the same thing lately, but it's been horrible. Hi, Candied Cupcakes. We're just talking about Minnesota. I think, are you from Canada? But you might know the shape of Minnesota since it's, I don't know where you're located there. But I was showing a map of Minnesota and how the northeast corner was jutting out so bad, and it just didn't look like, hi, Korrie. Just didn't look like, just didn't look right anymore to me at all. Now, what's weird about this morning is, and this has happened to me before, but what's weird about this morning is I woke up at 2 and I was like, oh, good, I have a few more hours. And then I went back to sleep, and then I know I slept some, and then I woke up and it was 2 o'clock in the morning again. I know people think stuff like that is crazy, but I swear I got like another hour. Hi, Creek Mary. Now, some of you guys have contacted me like on Facebook and my email and stuff. And I've just been feeling so bad and sleeping a lot and just like having such anxiety that sometimes I just, shut down a little bit and ignore it. So I'm not really ignoring you, the person. I'm just ignoring having to deal with anything. Hi, and then he said, oh, thank you for saying that. It's great to have you too. She says, I just want to tell you, I do not have people in my life to be proud of, but I'm happy to know all of you and appreciate you being here to take down the loneliness. Thank you. Yeah, it really does help, doesn't it? Really helps a lot to have each other. Okay, and then also you guys, oh, Korrie, you've been sleepwalking and talking in your sleep too. Yeah, I've been doing some weird stuff when I'm asleep. Like, I've been yelling as well. People say like I'll cuss and just walk into walls and do all kinds of crap sometimes. I mean, let's see. Yeah, if any of you guys do, like Adam says that I answered one of his questions on one of my videos, and sometimes I get around to that, and sometimes I get lost because there's the comments. There's many, and if I don't get to them right away, I don't see them all. And even I've noticed too, where a lot of them times they'll hold them for moderation, or they think it's spam or something, and it's not. It's just one of you guys, but because of whatever reason, and then I don't see it right away, and I hope no one's thinking that I'm ignoring them or, deleting their comment, because I'm not. I just haven't approved it yet, which it shouldn't even really be an approval, but I wish you could have and maybe there is a way to do this where you could just say this person's safe to make any comment. Oh my gosh, your friend woke up on a railroad track, River Swept? Holy cow. Well, I've always talked in my sleep, but I mean, I think it's getting a lot worse. A lot worse. Now, the Schumann has been going crazy. Let me see if I can bring that up. And what I think is interesting, I'm going to also bring up the LHC thing because they turned it on. All right, so let's see here. And I've also really had a really bad vibration in my head when this was going on. When this oh shoot, I haven't refreshed this. I thought I did. It's weird. Okay, it's coming up slowly. But anyway, you'll see where this most recent really bad white part that goes all the way to 40. And now that it's going all the way to 40, I'm kind of wishing that they would extend this graph down because see how, I mean, it went all the way down here, it went all the way down here, and it only goes to 40. And if it's going past 40, they need to extend this graph down to, like, this is 0 and this is 40, but they need to extend this down so that we can see how high it's really going. So I hope you guys can see that. Let me just check to make sure that I am okay. Now, okay, so I'm going to show you this. This is the current status of the LHC. Now, they haven't been doing anything lately. That's this right here. But they did a lot of activity yesterday in turning it on. And so this, if you go to, well, I'll give you 2 links. This one. And this one. Is that it? Shoot. No. This isn't. Okay. I'm going to give you guys and then also the Schumann. Okay, so anyway, and getting back to this LHC page 1 up here, it gives you like just the most recent data, which you don't see anything because it's not on right now. Because it says beam setup, no beam. If you go to LHC operation on this, then it will give you like over the last several hours, and I don't know if it's 24 hours or what, but you can tell there was a lot of activity yesterday. And then, of course, you know, I'm pretty sure it did correlate with some of these spikes, especially this one right here on the Schumann. So, okay. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm still on. And my internet is crazy and goes out all the time. Let's go back to the chat here. Page not found. That's weird. Huh. Well, that's odd. Well, anyway, if you Google, let's see, Vistar, Vistar LHC. And those should come up. Okay, has anybody else come in? Okay, and also, I don't think I said this yet, but when that white part was going on the Schumann, I had a very, very intense vibration in my head. You know, it almost kind of feels like a little bit of a seizure or something. Yeah, the river swept on that graph for if you're talking about the Schumann one, is just the white parts going all the way down to 40 that are spikes, basically. So if you see like solid white lines, those are the things that. I need to, next time I see Adam is asking me if my weather numbers correlate with the Schumann. I haven't seen any changes in my weather patterns yet, but I actually missed a couple days, which is really unfortunate because you almost can't miss a couple days of recording it, because then, you know, if something changes, you're not going to know that it changed because you didn't record your first number, you know. But I've had 3 major changes that were all in March that were, you know, 17-degree differences. But I need to pay more attention when I see that, if it correlates with the Schumann or not. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, gamer, because the Schumann is in Russian time, and then see, I just try to notice like when it's happening, like when I see all the white happening, you know, because I check it a lot, and then I'll go to that LHC website to check to see if it's on. Okay. Also, and I always hate like all of us complain about our health or whatever, because normally I am a very healthy person. But going along with all this over the past couple of days, I've been alternating freezing and hot, like sweating. Okay, Rivershop asked if 18 would be the last hour. Yes. Yes. The LHC is just the Large Hadron Collider at CERN. Other than the sweating and being cold and freezing, the only thing that usually gets me are like headaches in my hands, like my thumbs and my index finger. I really don't feel any back pain or chest. Well, sometimes I feel chest pain, but I think that's just general anxiety. I don't know. Okay, so I wanted to tell you guys about this this video that Rachel Reinstra put up. I don't know if you guys know Rachel, but she's on Scarab's Mandela Mondays a lot. She's gorgeous. She's really pretty, and she does some network animal show, animal docs or wildlife docs or something like that. But anyway, my whole point of bringing it up is that her last video was so bizarre, because she was talking about how award shows are fake in Hollywood and stuff, and I should give you a link to her channel or to that video. But shoot, I'll try to do that as I'm talking. But she's talking about how the CERN itself is starting to give awards to people, I guess. And I don't know if you guys know about this, but they've had like a lot of push with the arts. I mean, they've had like symphonies and weird operas and stuff inside the LHC, which is weird. But let me just go back to the chat. Anyway, oh, you watched it too, gamer? I know. I'm going to bring up some of that stuff because this lady is, if you look it up yourself, oh my gosh, let's see. I think I put it in here, didn't I? I thought I did. On my tabs so that I could show you guys. But anyway, I normally don't want to talk about things that other people talk about on their videos, and definitely go watch her video. But I mean, this stuff is crazy. I mean, this lady, her name's Suzanne Treister. Suzanne Treister. And I think it's SuzanneTreister.net. Oops. It's yeah, the Symmetry short film as well. But anyway, I spelled it wrong the first time. It's SuzanneTreister.net. But anyway, they have this thing called, I'm going to have to go to the site and see. Because it is so freaking bizarre. Oh, dang it. Okay, she's part of stuff like post-surveillance art, time travel projects, like, for instance, some of her art is, would you recognize a virtual paradise? And then you go to, I try to bring this up. These are some of her, let's see, am I still here? Okay, good. How come I don't have, I wanted to screen share. Okay, so hopefully you can see this, but this stuff's freaky. Would you recognize a virtual paradise? Not enough memory. Now they have, like, I wish I would have woken up a little bit earlier because I had like a web page that's related to her, that she's associated with, where they have this called something in Brussels, I believe, called Resurrection Lab. And like living in a post-digital age and crap like this. I mean, it's just so bizarre, so bizarre. Right? Let me see if I can, I don't know why I went away with that. Let me see if I can find some of this stuff. But, oh, I need to go to this artificial life page that she has on here. Darn it, where'd it go? I don't don't know where it went. All right. Okay, here it is. She just does all these weird stuff, and I guess she does remote viewing and stuff like that. Okay, so she calls these research projects. It says a golem, an artificial man made out of clay, was created in 16th century Prague by this Rabbi Lowe. And it's a time travel research project to track the descendants of the Lowe dynasty. And it's created to test whether an ability and our desire to create artificial life was inherited and can be traced genetically. I mean, you could spend hours looking at this stuff. Literally hours. And then she's got just all these arts and diagrams to go with it and stuff like that. It's freaking nuts. It's freaking nuts. Let's see. Yeah, the God particle. That's what they're basically trying to find at the LHC and CERN. A lot of people don't think it has anything to do with it, but I don't know. Because just even looking at this stuff that says he feels ringing. I have a kind of a fuzzy headache, but that's about it. Yeah, it was always Murphy's oil soap. Hi, the Great Chi. Yeah, the terms resurrection lab. And these are actual, I don't know. Craziness. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just reading some of the chat through, and but yeah, that stuff was nuts. Was just nuts. I mean, you could spend an hour just looking at all that stuff, and I don't want to do a whole bunch on it just because Rachel did. But you definitely need to check it out. Hi, Sarah. So you think time travel has something to do with this? Well, yeah. See, I don't know if it's time travel or if just like quantum changes somehow retroactively I can't talk this morning. Retroactively teleporting stations. Some people say that. Oh, and like some of her stuff too was like when they were talking about the post-digital age or something like that. It said something like black hole history of Earth or something weird. I mean, it's stuff's nuts. Stuff is craziness. Yeah, Candy, you said you have a migraine now. I've never really had headaches before the last couple of years that much. And You know, I think I talked about one time where I had such a severe one that I actually got sick. And I hated that we're always talking about this stuff because it seems like, wow, people listening in are like, what a bunch of complainers, Well, the great Chi was just talking about, you came in kind of late, but it was just about how CERN gave this Collider award to this lady, but she's got all kinds of odd stuff about time travel and artificial life, and there's something in Brussels called a resurrection lab. I mean, stuff like that. I wonder if Patrick woke up. I don't see him in here, so maybe he didn't. So are there any new Mandanimals? I saw that weird spider thing. That was just bizarre, wasn't it? I thought I had a picture of that on here too. Oh, well, you guys saw it probably on Scott's stream. What was it called? Something. Oh, here it is. Okay, yeah, I can share that. Ouch. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to switch position. My legs are falling asleep. That weird looking spider. And are there any other new Mandanimals that you guys know of? I don't really pay. I love watching other people's videos on it, but that's not something that I really search for. Like I used to go on National Geographic and sometimes look and just, type in new species or something like that just to see. But oh, my butt's still asleep. My legs. But I mean, that is the weirdest looking spider. I hope somebody does a video on it. On like what the purpose is of all that stuff on the end of it. I mean, that's just so bizarre looking. I mean, holy cow. Okay, gonna go back to the chat. Chinese hourglass spider. You guys, I get severe headaches too, and I wasn't meaning to say that we shouldn't talk about it. I just was thinking to myself, the people coming in that are always hearing us talk about our aches and pains, the people that don't understand what we're feeling and what we're going through, Oh, I've got a mess in my hands in here. I've got to spend all day cleaning this room. I've been unpacking boxes and stuff and probably going to have to repack later on, but oh well. Okay. It has an alien's face on its butt. Yep. Did you guys see the picture of the spider though? Yeah, it definitely goes back further than CERN for sure. But, I don't know if it's time travel or retroactively causing this. Yeah, if you look at the technical papers, and sometime I need to do a video on, some of the technical papers about the possibility of black holes at CERN and stuff like that, I've looked at a few of those, and that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I agree. Great Chi. Headaches happen during shifts. See, and I had a really intense vibration last night. Looks like the LHC to you. Oh, goodness. Let's see here. Carnivorous deer. Giant killer bats. A goose that really lays a golden egg. That would be good. Oh, did you guys hear my clock? Let me see. Yep, it still has 1111 instead of IV. And the numbers are still upside down. I just have to, I check it every now and then. Yeah, Adam, when you say you're Christian, though, and you see devils everywhere, when I go to look at that lady's website and see all the weird stuff she's into, I got a very, very uncomfortable feeling. Like, you know, I just get all these weird thoughts in my head, like, what if we're clones? You know, and it's just, when I was looking at all that stuff, and then something called a resurrection lab, and just kind of scary when you think about it. Let me see if I can find that resurrection lab in Brussels. Yeah, I found it. Okay, this is what freaked me out when I was looking at this, and I'm going to pull up the website here in just a minute. Okay, I'm pulling up the resurrection lab now. Okay, so imal.org. And it says a research project on the preservation of born digital content using emulation. What does born digital mean? As well as public access through a prototype of new type of media library for digital artifacts based on emulation. Who the heck knows what that means? All right, let me see. Born digital art preservation. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking at this. Just says, develop methods, tools, and services for the preservation of digital-born content, as well as the public access through a new kind of media library. Which, it sounds innocent enough, but just the term Resurrection Lab, just, ugh, I don't know. I don't know. But this is at imal.org. Well, I'll just put the link in. What verse are you guys talking about? Oh, I-43 or 143 means I love you. That's crazy. It's almost like we're getting a new language. Okay, Korrie asked me, how do I share the screen? Well, I'm on a laptop right now. Well, it's a Chromebook, and I don't really like it. I liked it the first one I got it, but I can't use OBS and stuff on it. So if you can figure out how to do OBS using like a Windows platform or Apple platform, OBS is really good. And that's what I use for my regular videos. But for these, I have to use this Chromebook because just a whole myriad of reasons that are too boring to talk about. But what you do is when you know how there's a little green sign that says start broadcast. I don't know, because see, this might all be different on a mobile phone. But then on the left hand side, there's like something where you can pop out the chat and have people look at the chat. And then right below that is screen share. And then you just do that. Hit that button. Here, I'll show you. Okay, so Korrie, I don't know if it looks like on your mobile phone, if it looks like this, but see here, this means you can put your chat up on the screen instead of like, you know, just my picture. And this right here is the screen share. And I don't know what that or that. I haven't really messed with this stuff too much. Like I know you can mute people and stuff if you have them on your broadcast and everything. But this green button right here is for the screen share. And then this little thing down here comes and says you're sharing your screen, and you know, so I can hit the stop button here or the stop button here. So I'll stop doing that, and then I'll just go ahead. I've never really put the chat up, but I'll go ahead and do that. It won't go up there for me. Oh well. Man, my screen was way behind, so I thought you guys were seeing that a long time. Let's see. An experiment in terror. Yeah, well, they've done some weird psyop things for sure. I mean, you know, who knows? I mean, is it 5G? Is it 4G coming out? Just, ugh. I gotta go back up here. I got behind on the chat. Huh, I haven't heard that about Satan wearing out the saints for a season. Yeah, see, that's another one that I noticed in the 80s, you guys, was when Revelations went to Revelation. I told you about all the names that I saw changing in the 80s. That's another one that I saw in the 80s for sure. Was Revelations going to Revelation, because, I read the whole book when around that age that I saw all the other changes. Didn't, but I wonder, the S coming off all these words is just odd. Creek, Mary, if you're a state, they're hard up. I know, right? Yeah, the verse about the meek inheriting the earth. Yeah. Yeah, God prefers the humble sinner, but I don't know why I do the things that I do. But then again, Paul says that in the Bible too. An experiment in terror. I guess the number of the letters. 1 for I, 4 for love, and 3 for you. Well, see, I do live on a remote farm now. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here. But I do live in a very, very remote area. I mean, if you look at my channel art, you can, that's an actual picture of where I live right now. Yeah, I go back to simulation quite often, especially with all this weird stuff and seeing numbers all the time. I don't know how that could be possible without it being a simulation, really. I don't know. Either that or, really my two main things, in combination with everything, are that I died because that's when I started seeing the changes, or or that we're in a simulation. Hi, Aaron. Nice to see you. Yeah, I can't say 100% sure that that's exactly when I started seeing the changes, but I know it was around that period. So, it just seems obvious that it was. Yeah, the wolf and the lamb. I didn't. Yep. Yeah, Korrie, I wish I could go on longer. If anybody else maybe wants to, but yeah, I'm going to probably even have to cut it off about 10 minutes early as well. I hate that you have such a bad headache, though. Brandon asks, so we all had near-death experiences. Well, if you call like an attempted suicide one. And then I think I fell asleep in my car a couple times, possibly too. And then I think I said this in one of my live streams once before, but I just woke up in like some weird military complex one time. I was driving my car, and it was just like all of a sudden, all these military cars were after me, and they're like, how did you get here? Like, they didn't know how I got there. Like, I just kind of teleported or something. That was weird. And I'm like, I have no idea. So I don't know. But on some of the near-death ones, like the Great Chi, you say you haven't had one, but, you know, a lot of times I think, you know, what if you were involved in like a car accident where just somebody came out of the middle of nowhere and you just didn't even know, and you just got smashed. I'll tell you more about that. Well, are you talking about the military complex thing? There's really nothing much to tell other than all of a sudden I was in this military complex and they were asking me, you know, stopping my car and saying, "How did you get here?" And I'm like, "I have no idea." And I asked them to direct me back to the interstate, and they did, or, you know, told me how to get out of there. And but then when I went back, like even now, I know approximately where that was because of where they directed me to get back on the interstate. And hi, PoppieElm. But so but when I looked back on Google Maps to find out approximately, to see what it was there, to see what kind of military complex and stuff like that, it didn't show up. It was just a bunch of trees. So, I mean, I don't know if I somehow teleported into something weird or some government entity was doing something to me or what. I have no clue what all that was about. I kind of feel weird telling that story because it sounds so bizarre. Okay, let me go back. Yeah, Korrie, it's strange stories like that when you talked about that, that you didn't know how you got to the hospital and stuff. It's stories like that that make me think that possibly died. Because though there's one, let's see, what did Candide say? Oh, it's going by too fast. Can't get back to what Candide said. Oh, darn it. Do you feel okay? Do you feel that we did not die because we were meant to serve a larger purpose here and are needed? Or do we? I feel that we are dead in some context, and that is why we see the changes. It's hard to talk about this because it's just so strange, but honestly, you know, like I even remember, I'm pretty sure, but see, I don't know how we could just, I guess some people in our community do think that we just, you know, because I've had like 3 near deaths that I can think of if you count. And so it's like I just keep waking up somewhere else. So maybe we don't really die, or maybe we're living in some kind of underground world, you know? I mean, why do they always say as above, so below and crap like that? I mean, what does that mean? You know? And I just don't remember all the evil and as being as bad when I was a little kid before I started seeing all the changes, you know? And so, I mean, is it just some underworld that Satan's ruling over, you know? Yeah, the sixth sense. Did we die in our existing here and don't move on? That could be. Or maybe we don't move on until we're ready, you know? Well, Adam, I mean, I know what you're saying because it's kind of weird for a Christian to think this, and I'm a Christian too, that this is a possibility. He says, I don't think we are dead. Where do our dead people go? Well, if it's true that we don't really die, we just go on to a different reality. They went on to, you know, a reality where they didn't die, where they came out of it. You know, because my dad died of a heart attack when he was, well, it was the year 1993, and he was only 44 years old. And so, you know, maybe if this is all true, I mean, and I'm not saying it is, I have no clue. Who knows a clue about anything? Oh my God. Oh, okay. I just realized I thought that was a CERN logo, but it was actually a Google Chrome logo on my Chromebook. I kind of freaked out for a minute. But anyway, maybe he just went on to a reality where he lived, where he survived. A gamer says, has anyone else realized that nowhere in the Bible does it say that we go to heaven immediately after death? The only time that it does somewhat say that is the thief on the cross, when Jesus says, today you will be with me in paradise. But I've looked at the original Aramaic or Greek or whatever it is, and I don't think it necessarily has to mean like, right after he died, that's what that word today means. That's the problem so much for, that's the problem for translation and stuff. Asks, did he do work for the government? No, he was a farmer. But I think I told you guys my Scrabble story. Some of you may not have heard it, but I was, when I was cleaning out my storage lockers, I just, 3 of them fell out of my game, and I just stuck them in my pocket, and I didn't look at them until the next day. I put them on a tray table, and it was the letters K-E-N, and that was my dad's name, was Ken. So that was kind of, so I don't know. I mean, I think he's watching out for me in some way. I don't see how that could be possible either. Yeah, Adam asks, then what about old age? Do we shuffle around forever? And the Bible says that, my spirit will not contend with man forever. Like his age will be limited to 120. Maybe in some realities we all live to be 120, and then we go where we came from. We are resurrected to learn a lesson, but we are given the waters of forgetfulness. So how do we learn the lesson? The great Chi. Yeah. I don't know that I'm learning my lesson very well, if I'm supposed to be learning a lesson. I mean, I guess I am. I'm definitely a different person. Let's see. What did Brandon say? Does anyone think we are in purgatory? Well, see, I think that is a possibility, but I wouldn't call it purgatory. That name, I would say that it's Hades or Sheol, because that's the Greek and the Hebrew for the underworld. Because, like, if you'll remember, Abraham and Isaac, or not Abraham and Isaac, Jacob and Joseph in the Bible, when his brothers came to tell him that he died and was killed by an animal, Jacob said, well, I'll go down to Sheol to be with them. So, he obviously I don't think he thought that, Jacob or Joseph was going to hell. That's why there's a big distinction between Sheol, Hades, and hell. I'm just trying to find out if I'm still broadcasting. Okay, good. Looks like I am. Okay, QP said, with all the good that has happened to us, I don't think so, Brandon. The thing is, I've just had like a hard time the last several years. Have been kind of miserable for me. And see, I kind of had it easy before that. Just I did have a boring life, but I wasn't really happy where I was. But so the great Chi, you got a sign from both your parents after they passed on. Yeah. And then he said, asks, I have often wondered if anyone experiencing the Mandela effect has died yet. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah, there's a couple instances where it goes into the whole Sheol Hades thing that I need to do a video on, which I keep promising, and it's just, it'll just take a lot of research and a lot of work to do it, and I want to do it because I think it's an important concept. Let's see. Han says, have faith. We just have to endure till the end. Then we will know the wise and be shocked how important every person's life is. Mostly those who think nothing of themselves but love. Yes, I agree. So Adam says, your dad talked to my family in your dreams, and you had a light display that would occasionally come on when we talked about him. That's interesting. Creek Mary, I wonder about disappearing like residue. Yeah. That's why, like, you know, when we were talking about the sixth sense and stuff, how, you know, do we just stay here until we finally realize that we're dead and then we move on, you know, and that we've learned the lessons that we were supposed to learn? I don't know. But see, like, you know, the only thing, you know, because I've thought about the whole Sheol and Hades and stuff, but you know, like if I did die when I was 13, I mean, how can you give birth to children? You know, I have 2 boys. How can you give birth to children when, you know, when you're technically already dead? Unless this life, it just isn't what we think it is, you know. Yeah, Brendan, I think a lot of us have had. Hi, Chris Fitzpatrick, welcome. Oh, it's 5:55. Speaking of all that, 5:55 my time. I mean, I see it almost every live stream I do. It's so crazy because I don't do it on purpose. You know, people think, oh, you're just, you know, you see that it's 110 and then you wait to watch it go to 11. No, because I don't count those in my logbook. Like if I see a 110 or something like that, and then it, you know, and then I actually do see it to 111, I never count that because it's not like I looked up and saw it, you know. Oh, interesting. Great. He would put the lights on and off in the house after he died. Hmm. I just love your screen name, Adam Love Fence. I don't know if you guys know it, but it's, I hope you don't mind me telling everybody, Adam, that it's Mandela effect scrambled. That was so cool. That's the strange thing to me about shifting. I have a kitchen knife missing and the bottle of Jack Daniels filled back up to the top, but other than that, not a speck of dust. I know. It's like the most random things sometimes. Like I had something just appear in my backpack and I'm like, well, I'm glad this is here, but how did it get here? I don't know. Bye, QP. Have a great day. I forgot that it's night for you. Okay, and then there's more 5s. So there's 15 watching now and 5 thumbs up. So sometimes it seems like I have been seeing, it used to be 1s and 4s, and now I'm seeing 5s quite a bit. Well, you guys, I'm going to cut off the audio portion, but I'll leave the chat open for a little while. But I thank you, everybody, for being here, and I hope everybody have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.